Hi there, welcome to Core Leadership Sessions. I am Maria Cast with Core Leadership Development, and I want to welcome you to my monthly training whereby I will be interviewing different leaders in the community who will be sharing their best practices, their insights, and their leadership principles that help them to become a success, because they really want you to be a success in both your business and your career. So I encourage you to check back here at this Core Leadership Sessions channel and gain some insight and definitely get some value from them, because they are here for you and want to pour into you, as do I. So enjoy this next Core Leadership Session. Hi there, Core community. Welcome. And I am here at Isaac Heating and Air Conditioning with President and CEO Ray Isaac. And if you've had any service or you've interacted with any Isaac employee, I am certain that you have had a wonderful experience. And the reason that I know that is because Ray Isaac has started this mindset of family, and he leads his team well from the top to the bottom. He continuously improves himself, and he makes sure that he filters that down to not only his leadership team, but the people on every team at Isaac Heating and Air Conditioning. He is a Small Business Council recipient, Business Person of the Year recipient in 2012. He is now the president of the Small Business Council, and I have no doubt that you're the right person for the job, because this family business has been in the Rochester area now for 70 plus years. So they must be doing something right. So I am really happy to be here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you are pouring into our core community today, and I really appreciate it. Now, I want to, one of the reasons I wanted to meet with you, Ray, was because I had the pleasure of seeing you speak. Mm-hmm. And when you were speaking, you said something that really stuck out to me, and you said, I was at a crossroads and in my career, and I was wondering, am I staying with Isaac or am I doing something different? And I wonder if you can expand upon that, because there are people in this core community, they're probably thinking the same thing, whether they're in a job, they're a leader in a job and they're an executive, or they own their own company and they're wondering, what should I do? Do I even want to be here? Yeah. So I'd love to hear about that.
No, you're right. And it was a crossroads. And it was a point where I thought that I had to be passionate about heating and air conditioning. And I knew my whole life, I loved working in the field. I loved working with my hands. I loved doing the work. When I came into the office, that kind of changed, and I was kind of searching for what my purpose was in the company. And my dad always drove it into our heads that you can do whatever you want, you just better have a passion or a purpose. And my problem was I thought I had to be passionate about heating and air conditioning. And I often refer back to Simon Sinek's Start With Why on the Golden Circle. What you do is on the outer circle. Yeah. How you do it is a little bit closer to center, but really that why. And I didn't have a why in the company. I actually had my resume out there, and it's kind of ironic that one of the owners, president, CEO, running the company, last name is on the side of every one of the trucks and on the business. Been here my whole life, and I was looking to leave because I really did not think that what I wanted to do, I could do at Isaac Heating and Air Conditioning.
Right. Okay. So what was the why, and how did you discover it?
Well, I thought my why had to be heating and air conditioning, and I realized that I'm not passionate about heating and air conditioning. And it was kind of liberating, and it was euphoric to come up with, be able to say that. It's kind of cathartic that I said, you know what, I'm not passionate about heating and air conditioning, even though this is my whole life. I love it, great industry, but it's not my passion. And I needed to find that passion. I was actually sitting with a recruiter who had my resume, was ready to put it out there, said he could get me any job I wanted, and nice stock options. And he asked me a very pointed question. He says, Ray, what do you want to do at another company? And I explained all these things of improving people's quality of life and starting programs. And he stopped me. He says, why can't you just do that at Isaac? And it hit me like a train. I was like, I probably can. I don't know. I thought I had to leave to go do that. And what I was looking for to do was really not focus on the heating and air conditioning. It was really to find that why. And it's funny how people, at the end of something, you can look back and say, oh yeah, those are all the steps. None of them were pre-planned. It was just, things just happened, whether it be fate, destiny, or just luck. Preparation meets opportunity, and I was in the right place, and my mind was prepared to recognize that, you know what, I had to do something different. So I tell all of our employees I'm not passionate about heating and air conditioning. And I tell them within their first couple days at the company in orientation, I said, you know what, in 6 weeks, if you're not passionate about heating and air conditioning, I am perfectly fine with that, because I'm not.
Yeah.
but you need to find what you want to do, what your passion is, what is your why. And I tell them my why is to improve the quality of life, and everything I do, and the continuous improvement to having fun, to focusing on family, to taking care of the community. And then we call it our triple bottom line, taking care of our employees, our clients, and our community. That's the three that we focus on. And really that's become my why.
Yeah.
And I tell them it's okay if you have a different why. But you can achieve that through the what, heating and air conditioning, and the how, by creating an enjoyable experience met with anticipation. Just find your why. Find what's at the center of your golden circle.
Yeah. Well, and what's interesting is even if they do come on board, you're continuously pouring into them and developing them. That, even if they're not passionate about heating and air conditioning, that is something that probably keeps them here because they're being developed. And when you develop and grow your people, and I think, core community, this is one thing I always bring home, is that personal and professional development is one of the best things that you can do for yourself, because you become more aware of who you are and what your contribution to community and to people is, right? So you're pouring into these people on your team. They are being developed, and they're starting to raise their awareness around, who am I as a person, right? How can I be it's not just about being a better employee for Isaac, it's about being a better community member, better husband or wife.
No, and that's
parents.
true. Yeah, we have to develop their skill set, because if heating and air conditioning isn't their passion, we need to give them the skills to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Their passion might be people. Their passion may be bass fishing. I'm okay with that. Hey, if this is a means to an end for you, and you're happy when you come in the morning, that's one of the ways you make us a better company, is to have a smile on your face when you come in, and the other way is to have a smile on your face when you go home. I said everybody's going to be better off if you are smiling at those two times. If you're smiling when you come in, our employees are going to be happier. Your clients, our clients, are going to be happier. Everybody you deal with on that daily basis is going to be happier if you're smiling. It's hard not to be happy when you have happy people around you. I said, and when you leave at night, if you're smiling and you stop, say, at Wegmans to get something to eat, and you're going through the checkout counter, and the person that's ringing you out sees you smiling, you're in an Isaac shirt, you're happy, you're helping the community. You're going to be less rushed to get home. All the old sitcoms of, the father walks in at night dragging and kicking the dog and yelling at everybody, and that used to be the whole thing, where you had to be miserable at work so you can go home and be happy. And that's where then they'd have to kick their feet up, and it would take them an hour to finally relax and unwind. That shouldn't be. Life is too short. I want them to enjoy their time doing what they do, and it may not be for that why. We do have people that are very passionate about heating and air conditioning. My brother David, one of the owners, he loves heating and air conditioning. That's his passion. He's a service technician. So it goes back to, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. I needed to find that what for me and that why of, what am I actually loving when I come in? And everybody here has to have that as well. And you know what? It's increased our recruiting efforts, because we've redefined what qualified is. Qualified is a great attitude, and if you're going to work in the field, mechanical ability, or whatever place you're going to be in the company, you have to have a skill set. That's Jim Collins' 3 circles: what you can be best at, what you can make money at, and what are you truly passionate about. And that's that hedgehog, what's right in the middle of those. Yeah,
that's right. So when you discovered that this was your passion, and hey, wow, now I can do it at Isaac, you then, I'm assuming that Isaac University came out of that.
Yeah, that was part of it. Again, it's, people say, what was that one defining moment? And it's that flywheel effect from good to great. I love that book, because there's so many concepts that you can take them out of context and put them into any situation, and they work. The flywheel effect is, you get this flywheel really spinning, and it took a lot of pushes on it. Somebody comes up to you and says, what's the one push that got it spinning like that? You can't tell it. I mean, so Isaac University is part of it. We re-engineered the company back in 2005. We changed our vision for the company. I was forced to write a vision that I thought I could be passionate about and that would carry the company forward. And really, in 2005, we were, whether we knew it or not, and we didn't know it, we were discovering our why as a corporation. Simon Sinek wrote Start With Why in 2009. We did this in 2005.
Wow, that's cool.
And we came up with a vision statement that has nothing to do with heating and air conditioning. It has nothing to do with what we do or how we do it. And the first sentence is to create an enjoyable experience met with anticipation, and the last sentence is that improves the quality of life.
And community. There's community in there too, right?
And I know it. We talk to people about our vision, and we can explain it, we can tell a story about it, but it's not focused on the what and the how. It is on the why. And we were finding that why back in 2005, which is pretty exciting. You look back and go, wow, that was pretty cool. We're not that smart, but man, sometimes things come together.
So for someone who is interested in creating their own vision, whether they're a sole entrepreneur or someone who owns a business with 50 employees, how did you start that process?
It was funny. I was sitting with a consultant, and we were going to go through this re-engineering because what I wanted to do, the impetus of that was to take our strategic plan that we had just created, and I wanted to take it and give it to all of our employees. Say, hey, here's what we're going to do. Jump on in and let's get it done. And it's one of those things. You're sitting at your desk, and I'm like, there's no way this is going to get done because they're miserable, and there's not a passion in the organization, and we're a mess. There's no, so I put a time out on this. Says, you know what? Before we ever share anything, and Peter Drucker, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Our culture was terrible.
Yeah.
And it was, maybe I'm being harsh. Maybe it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't that great.
Right.
So
You saw that there could
I
be
saw there
improvement.
would be. So I was sitting with our consultant. He says, Ray, what's your vision? And it's funny. I reached back and I'm pulling out desk drawers. And he says, what are you doing? I said, I'm looking for my vision. He says, stop and think about what you just said. He goes, if that's the case, you're blind.
Right.
And I said, well, it probably is. He says, what do you want the vision to be? And I remember telling him, I said, well, let me meet with the team. He says, I'm going to stop you right there. He says, if this is something you're going to lead, something you're going to be passionate about, something that you can really talk about and embody, it has to be your vision. What is the vision you want to see? And it took me some time to come up with that, really about having fun, about improving the quality of life, about serving our triple bottom line of our team, our clients, and the community, about growth, about prospering. So it kind of all came together, and it's guided us. We actually left that vision for a little while. We came up with another one, which I wasn't passionate about. And it took me about 2 years to say, you know what? It was funny. I was in an orientation. Somebody asked me, what's your vision? I said, well, my vision for the corporation is, that I pronounced our old vision statement, the one that I come up with. And they said, well, I saw on the wall, it's delivering a world-class experience. I'm like, yeah, that's the vision, but I really don't believe in that one that much. And it's one of our brand new employees' first day on job. He says, then why do you have it?
That's so interesting.
I tell you, the wisdom of people that have been with you for, at that point, it was about 3 hours with the company.
Yeah, right.
He says, why do you have it? And I was like, I said, you're right.
And that person was put in your path, like you said. All of a sudden, things start to align, and they're put in your. And he was there to have you think about that and say, you know what? No, this is not going to work.
It's weird how those things happen. You know, it's faith-based organization. I believe that everything we do, we're going to have to answer, but it also guides us on our paying it forward mentality of taking care of our people first. Our employees come before our client, and I'm okay with that. I tell our clients, say, look, my employee comes before you because the last thing you want is somebody in your home that isn't taken care of, doesn't feel appreciated, is not rewarded, isn't paid well, doesn't have everything they need to do their job properly, and that's just on not the technical side, but on the emotional side and their self-actualization. The Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They have to have all those things, so it benefits everybody, and it's a pay it forward. Take care of the client. They'll take care of the employee. They'll take care of the client. The client's going to take care of the company, and that's how comes full circle.
Right, and that's why you have grown the business significantly since you came on board.
Yeah, we've seen, it's mind-boggling, the growth.
Yeah.
Some people, again, it's that flywheel. People ask, well, what's that one thing that we didn't buy anybody? We didn't really start any new initiatives. We only opened up maybe 1 or 2 branches during that time, but that wasn't the kicker. Is we doubled in 5 years.
Yeah. Right.
Doubled the size of the company. I think back of my grandfather, he'd be like, what the heck are you guys doing? And I look back and say, what the heck are we doing?
Right. So, and I'm thinking as I'm sitting here, what's your dad think? I mean, you can still ask your dad, right?
Yeah,
he's seen it.
He very brilliant person. I mean, the person even though I've read a lot of books, audibled a lot of books, seminars and speakers and professional coaches, the person I still quote the most is my dad.
Yeah.
And he had 3 core philosophies for the family coming in the business, because now you have this business. You could have a whole separate thing with just family in business. I mean, family business is like trying to smash 2 things together, and it's like smashing atoms. Sometimes they explode, sometimes they mesh, and we live by those philosophies still today. And I talk to our employees about them. Your last name's a responsibility; it's not a privilege. So, as I said, my brother David's a service technician.
Yep.
His company vehicle is a Red Isaac van. My brother Kenny is our facilities manager. Loves what he does. I'm walking a new employee through the company the other day, and we're in the back shop, and he just happened to ask me, what do the owners do? And my brother Kenny is underneath the truck changing the front brakes on one of our vans because the
Right.
guy heard a squeal as he was coming up here. He says, "Bring it in, I'll change the brakes. I don't want you driving it like that." I said,
That's
"Well, there's one of
awesome.
them, he's changing brakes." And he stopped, he lay, he says, "You're kidding me." I
Yeah.
said, "Nope."
Yeah.
Because I had just got done telling him, "Look, if you love what you do, you never work a day in
Right.
life." And my brothers love what they do. So your last name is that responsibility. It's not a privilege. You get paid for what you do, not for who you are. And that was from day one.
Yep.
When you walked in the office, that's your boss, and he's going to decide what you get paid. And my brother David is a service technician, and he gets his review from one of our managers.
That's
Even though
awesome.
he's an owner, but he respects that position of his last name being a responsibility
That's
to,
right.
to lead by example.
Yeah.
And my brother Michael, my twin, is our purchasing manager, but also sells commercial jobs and meets with our technical team. So we're all doing what we love to do. I love this.
Yeah.
I love coming in every day. I have a smile on my face. It wasn't always like that, so I can see the difference.
Yeah.
And it's a blast because I walk in, people, if they see me smile, they're saying, it's calming.
Yep.
I mean,
Totally.
my thought process is that a leader needs to be a calming presence in an anxious environment. The last thing people need to see you doing is when you walk in is being all frantic and out of sorts. And I listened to a speaker once and he said, "You know what, you get out of that car in the morning, before you ever take one step towards your building, you say one thing to yourself, it's showtime."
That's right. Yeah.
You need to make sure that you are practicing good self-leadership
Yep.
and being okay with who you are, comfortable in your own skin, because that's going to affect and infect everybody in the company.
Yeah, yeah. So, the self-leadership piece we know is really key too. And for Isaac, what I'm seeing is your self-leadership, what you've done, you've poured into yourself to grow your team. And I know that you shared with me before that team building is really where you feel like your leadership quality is. And it starts with self-leadership, as you spoke about. So share with me, just in closing, because I would say this is key. Well, all of it's been key, what you've shared. So many points that people can take out and implement in their own business and in their own lives. But as it comes to team building, like what would you say the number one, if you were to pick one, what do you need to do for your team to build a team that's going to link to that vision that you're passionate about and move the company forward?
It has to be somebody who agrees with, I think, your vision. I don't want yes people, and believe me, we do not have yes people here.
Yeah.
They're the first ones to call us out. I did mention one of my dad's other philosophies was that don't take yourself too seriously. Nobody else does. I'm the pure definition of overhead. I tell a brand new employee that in the first couple days, you're going to make this company more money than I've made us in the last 20 years. And I understand it. I'm okay with it. They are Isaac Heating.
Yeah.
Our team has to feel that they practice and are backed up by what I call the 4 E's in the company. We have to engage them. We educate them. We're constantly improving their skill set as leaders because they have to be skilled leaders. People will join a company, they'll leave a boss.
Yes.
So they have to be educated as well and engaged and believe in everything we're doing. We empower them, and then we do something that wasn't readily apparent to me until one of my college professors, who I guess lectured to his classes, he says, "You know what, you do something that I don't see a lot of leaders do, and that's enable your people to act." And we do. They're empowered, and I said, "You know what, I have managers come in, they'll give me this great plan of something they want to do, and I'll ask them one question. Are you asking me or are you telling me? If you're asking me, I'll give you my opinion on what you should do. If you're telling me, I back you and I trust you, and
Yes.
let me know how it works out." But that team building component, they always say, hire your weaknesses. That's why we have so many employees. I have a lot of weaknesses, so but they're great. They're all people that have come up through the company. We've worked side by side, but we've learned to respect each other. There was a great book I read, and it's called Trust and Betrayal in the Workplace. And
I don't know that one.
yeah, most leaders have a problem with thinking their people don't trust them, or having a trust problem with their employees. They don't trust me, they don't trust me, they don't trust me. And we had a situation here with one of our leaders, and that very same thing. And this book was suggested to me by a friend of mine, and I went back to him, I said, do they believe that you trust them? And he stopped, and he's like, probably not. I said, and the premise of that book is trust begets trust, and trust begins with you. And trust is going to be created with somebody if they know that you trust them. I'm not going to be in a relationship with somebody and want them to trust me if they know that I don't trust them.
That's right. Yeah.
It's a one-way relationship. So we have to have that trust, and it's the first dysfunction of a team.
Yeah.
I mean, you've heard me
Yeah.
quote a lot of different books.
Right,
These are all
right,
these
right.
building blocks.
Yeah.
Absence of trust is that first of the 5 dysfunctions of a team. You got to have the trust. You can have great conflict if you have that trust. And we have battles here My dad used to laugh. I'd sit in management meetings and we'd have two managers going at each other, battling each other. He'd sit back and laugh. And I'm like, what are you laughing about? He says, look, they're fighting on how to make the company better.
Right. Yeah, and they're employees.
Yeah, these are employees. He got a kick out of it. He says, you know,
Yeah.
bring your passion, leave your
That's
attitude at the
good.
door. So
Yeah.
it's fun stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
we only live once. Life is too short. Misery is my one thing that I can't stand in an organization.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're miserable, find someplace else
That's
to
right.
do it or find something else to do.
Yes.
Nobody's ever been reincarnated.
Yep.
And from the keynote speeches I do, I'll usually do a survey at the beginning and I'll ask people, how many of you absolutely positively love coming to work every single
Yeah.
day? And these are all business owners. I just did one in Fort Worth, Texas, 300 people in there, 10 hands went up.
That's, yeah.
How
Yeah.
sad is that?
Yeah.
That's an epidemic.
Right.
If
Right.
10 of them, this is their baby. They own the place.
Yeah.
And they don't love going in every day.
That's right.
So you got to find, and then they complain about their employees not being happy.
Yeah.
They're hypocrites. So again, it's not showtime for them. Their showtime is park in their private parking spot, come in the office, be miserable, open their door, shut their door, and stay in their office all day. You're not going to build an engaged organization.
No, and that infects the whole organization. So it really does. It goes back to that start with why. It goes back to you. And if you're not passionate, get out and do something different, or adapt what you're doing in your company to
What I
make
did.
it, which is
wasn't
what
passionate.
you did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's funny. You come back and you look at it and say, "Oh, pretty cool. It actually worked."
Yeah.
But we weren't. I wasn't smart enough to figure this out at that time. I had to trudge my way through it. I probably would have tried to do it quicker, which is probably one of my drawbacks.
Yeah, but I'm going to challenge on that, because the reality is, if you didn't do the hard work of trudging through, then the transformation wouldn't have happened, Ray. Right?
Sometimes what you need is the struggle.
You do, yeah, because there's so much growth in it. So, and that shows up as growth for you, growth for your team here at Isaac,
Everybody else sees that
and
struggle
growth
too.
of the company. Totally.
They say, Ray, we've seen the
Yeah.
struggles. We know the battles you've done.
Yeah.
You're a complete jerk. I mean, so
Right.
they can see the comparison.
Yeah,
of,
isn't that interesting? So
yeah.
a complete transformation.
Yeah,
So,
somewhat complete. I'm still
Yeah,
working on it.
right.
You know,
Well,
good
we
judgment
always
comes from
are.
experience, and experience comes from bad judgment.
Yeah.
So I'm still working on the experience part.
yeah, yeah. Well, I really appreciate this time
Oh, you're
together
welcome.
with you. You've really poured a lot into our community, and I know you're all thinking the same thing. So what I would love for you to do is just make sure that you take some pieces of this interview today and you implement them, because nothing happens if you don't implement something that you learned. And Ray was a wealth of information and knowledge today, and
I'm
definitely
available
wisdom.
if anybody wants to call or
Yeah.
talk, email me. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
You can.
That's awesome.
I can share the email. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, my email is risaac, and Isaac is spelled ISAAC. It's same as on
Right
the
up
truck up
there.
there at isaacheating.com. So
Yeah.
I love talking about the subject. It's
Great.
just fun for me. It
Yeah.
fills my day.
Yeah, and he wants to pour into his community. So thanks, folks, and we'll see you next month.